Welcome to another edition of Your Daily Five. I'm John Colucci. Johnny Scan with me today, Professor Bruce Fraser. Professor, how are you?
I'm great. Thanks so much. We just completed a sister scan to this one, which we did on April 20th. So go check that out if you haven't seen it yet.
Well, definitely related scan. Last time we were banging the upper band, and this time we're going to do a dual band scan, the little TTM Squeeze, original goods, original gangster. So we're going back to basics with a Bollinger versus Keltner look. Two volatility measures, both have their own characteristics, one based on standard deviation, the other based on ATR. We like them both. They can, in fact, be combined using the TTM Squeeze. Originally and currently, the basic StockCharts engine doesn't scan for this, but the ACP does. So go ahead and check that out, and you will see charting with the TTM Squeeze indicator is available on StockCharts now. Love the ACP, doing great things there. So here we have Bollinger Band, upper band less than the upper Keltner channel, lower band greater than the lower Keltner channel, creating a situation where the Bollingers are inside of the Keltners. One relative strength on this one. What do we like about relative strength, Professor?
Well, we like everything about relative strength. And what we really would like to see is the performance of the stocks that we're looking at comparable to or ahead of some major index. I like the S&P, personal preference, but seeing that the candidates that we're looking at have got the ability to be able to perform with or better than the index itself. And then, of course, the idea with the Keltner and the Bollinger bands, as we saw yesterday in yesterday's scan, is the ability to go from a widening or wide volatility in an upward trend into a confined volatility, which shows some elements of pausing or correction. And so it's an interesting combination of events that are very Wyckoffian, I believe.
And we're going to sort by the width of the bands. Really unique feature available on StockCharts is we can sort by the width of our bands. And of course, we're looking for periods of low volatility in which the Bollinger bands are inside of the Keltner channels, standard deviation narrower than ATR, with a little bit of strength in the background. Let's take a look at what that gives us. 210 entries and a whole host of stocks. We did get our sort. We see that our width is narrower at the top of the list, and it goes down and gets wider. So got the sort we asked for. Wide variety of stocks there. Let's take a look at a couple off the chart. We got 5 for today. The heavy red lines are the Bollingers. The blue line, heavy red lines are the Keltners. Bollingers are blue, and we see a formation that might be backing up action. What are your thoughts, Professor?
Exactly, and that's what we're looking for, is note the great liftoff strength, uncharacteristically strong, starting in February, which shows that there's a change of character, making all of the trading range that preceded this LDOS a potential reaccumulation type structure. So at the end of reaccumulation, you get stock into largely strong hands, supply-demand imbalance. This creates the potential for a tremendous movement upward. And then we're looking for the conditions of a pause or shallow correction after an important uptrend. You can really see that in this chart, John.
Oh, absolutely. We've got solid performance on the OBV, all the moving average lines. To the extent we can pull them out of there, they're pointed up because 20 SMA, 20 EMA on each of the indicators as the center line, relative strength performing well. A little bit of pause in the MACD, but we're looking for an area of lower volatility punctuated by the possible pullback, modest pullback, low volume. We like that, especially when it occurs on a break of prior resistance now acting as support. Chubb Insurance Group, big uptrend here, channel over a period of time. Little ambiguity on the OBV, but relative strength looks solid. We have that characteristic pause in the MACD lines, but look at how our Bollingers are well inside of the Keltner channels. What do you see here, Professor?
Well, there you go. And there's the narrowing, constricting nature of a corrective action. What we're looking for are the shallow, narrow, brief reactions that occur within the context of a more important uptrend. Look at the relative strength underneath. You can see there that it's just in a confirmed uptrend, and really through the whole heart of this chart back to July of last year, relative strength is trending up. When it pulls back to its moving average, in this case, the 50-day, that is often represents a period when you should start to look to either initiate or add to positions in stocks that do that are confirmed up in their relative strength. And this scan that you've done here, John, really highlights, in this case, a stock that is doing that very thing.
Here we have another interesting one from the insurance area, AFLAC. Look at this structure we can identify, and we pull back to the 6390 area, and we're working back up inside of the band compression from the Bollingers as well as the Keltners. Positive OBV slope, relative strength heading up, modest flattening out on the MACD. Nothing really of great concern there, but this one may have a little work to do, but it's in the right place at the right time, wouldn't you say?
Yes, and note how the reactions are growing ever shallower, even in March, April, and is coming on diminishing volume. The corrections or pullbacks, the red bars, are coming on diminishing volume. And note how it keeps the OBV trending higher and is in a great upward stride. And that really does confirm that the stock continues to be under good accumulation, and it's just finding resistance at the early February peak. And so we would look for confirmation that it can break through there and keep trending higher with relative strength.
Note that a few of these stocks have quite reasonable price earnings ratios and decent yields. AFLAC, one of those, 10 PE with a 2.12 yield. Very interesting stuff there.
Well, and I think that that's a representation of how you have rotation or flow out of these really super mega cap growth type stocks into these great value characteristic stocks that have yield, and it makes perfect sense in 2022.
Here's one from the defense sector. General Dynamics, been an interesting industry group for some period of time. Climactic event, 253.66, down all the way to 223, 30-point spread there, forming a horizontal range after a long period of consolidation. What do you see there, Professor?
Well, I would only add to that you can see reaccumulation from late January back to October, possibly September, and that's a beautiful cause reaccumulation. At the very end in February, it got very dull and narrow. Note the Bollinger inside the Keltner in late February, classic example of diminishing volatility right before an explosive rally. So that everything's up, relative strength is up, OBV is up. Now it's just got to finish consolidating that little bit of a mini climax in early March.
Right. And the interesting thing is when we get the compression of the Bollingers inside the Keltners, we're looking for that to fire. So at some point, we expect a momentum move out of a period of exceptionally low volatility. Let's take a look at our next chart. That's the Hanover Insurance Group. Just a classic, almost a textbook example of breakout reaccumulation, backing up, and now we have a higher area. May not even be really considered backup because it's quite high off the original form formation, ambiguous on the OBV, relative strength up, flattening, characteristic flattening on the MACD. What do you see here, Professor?
Well, again, classic example of a large reaccumulation structure. This is the foundation for higher prices. An element or suggests accumulation is occurring by strong hands. From late February all the way back to July, you have this beautiful accumulation type structure. Now it's up and out of that, and it's in an uptrend. And so we would look for the continuation of that. Relative strength is confirming it. And note how in February, March, the Keltner got inside, or the Bollinger got inside the Keltner, constricted momentum, constricted volatility, and then it took off. That's exactly what's happening here. We may get some more of that here, but we'll be watching for the ability to just continue that uptrend.
Look at that run, 132.52 on the low end, 154.98 on the top end. That'll pay a couple premiums to the company there, eh?
There it is. Gotta pay the premiums.
Absolutely. Well, a little bit of liquidity issue there, somewhat muted on the volume, 155,000 on the 10-period EMA. So might want to be just a tad careful on that one, but great company. Once again, draw your attention to the Wyckoff Market Report, a product that we've developed to help folks be Wyckofians. It's a newsletter for Wyckofians in the know and something that I like to use on a daily basis. How about you, Professor?
Absolutely, and it's a very dynamic product. It really is designed for Wyckofians, giving you all the different looks of key and important setups in the market. And there's these active links in the letter that you can then bring up charts that are up to date on a daily basis. So even though the letter comes once a week, it's a dynamic letter that's talking to you every single day. And then there's a very large additional lists of scan results that are in there where you can look at these stocks on a continuous basis. Really a dynamic product.
Well, and you and I got a little surprise for the folks at home. We'll be doing a scanning special up in the end of May, early June, and that will be one interesting show to watch, wouldn't you say, Professor?
Oh my gosh, I can't wait for it. And we've been working on it and have great ideas. More to come on that. We'll be talking about that as we get closer to it in power charting and here on Your Daily 5.
All righty. Well, thanks so much for watching, and thanks for joining me today, Professor. Really appreciate it as always.
Always my pleasure. And thank you so much for these wonderful scans, which are going to get written into my scan engine so that I can look at them regularly.
Awesome.
Take care, everybody.
Hey guys, Dave Keller here with StockCharts.com. Thanks so much for watching our video. If you enjoyed it, and we hope you did, hit the like button right below. Also, we have so much new content every day. Consider subscribing to the channel. Just hit the subscribe button in the video or right below. Thanks for watching. Stay safe. Have a fantastic day.